What do the following people have in common? Madonna, David Beckham, and the Pope. Sounds like a joke, doesn't it? But the answer is they all wear a cross as jewellery. But have you ever stopped to think how weird that is, actually? Because the cross was a form of execution. What would you think if you saw someone wearing electric chair earrings or lethal injection cufflinks? Or this, I borrowed this natty piece of neckwear from Nicky Gumbel, the man who made the Alpha Course what it is today. Clearly very groovy. It's a nice little gallows there, or hangman's noose. What would you think if you saw someone walking around with that? The cross was a form of execution that was so cruel that even the Romans eventually abolished it. 337 AD, in case you were wondering. So why do people wear a cross? We see logos everywhere around us, don't we? Corporate logos, fashion logos. You could say that the cross is the logo of Christianity. It's the reminder of what happened when Jesus died.
Now, I like to think that I'm a pretty cool individual. I like to think that I can keep my head when all around are losing theirs. I like to think it's true, but it's not. And on one classic occasion, that was very evident to me. I was at the church. I was in the basement of the church. I was going to get a coffee, but I was stopped in my tracks when I saw her. There she was, talking to a friend of mine. She, beautiful, me, dumbstruck. And I wanted to get to know who is this woman. And I went and sort of stood with my friend, and I couldn't say a word. She moved away and went to get a coffee, and I thought, I've got to say something. So I sort of went over to the coffee, and I stood there. Normally, I just take it straight, no milk, no sugar, and go and find a small corner somewhere by myself. But I stood next to her. And I knew this was the moment. What would I say? As she was making her coffee here, I'm thinking, this is it. I've got to say something to her. What will be the first words I ever speak? What will be the opening line? The big attention grabber. You know that feeling, guys. And as if it was the greatest dilemma ever, do you know what my opening line was? I picked up the milk jug and said, to have milk or not? She just smiled and walked away, leaving me there. By some miracle, she still agreed to marry me. And I mean, it's extraordinary. Guys, try the line, I'm saying. Try the line. So as we come to the end of this Alpha course, thank you. There's an important question for each of us, and this is it. Ready? Is it possible to be a Christian and to keep it to yourself and not be part of the church? In other words, can I just stay at home on a Sunday and not tell anyone? There's that unspoken fear that becoming a Christian means that you're signing yourself up to be one of God's sales associates, one of those most awful and shameful of individuals, church pusher. But is that true? I've actually had a lot of people say to me, it's fine for Christians in their churches to believe what they like, but why do they have to tell everyone else about it? Well, the simple reason is Jesus told us to. Jesus died to forgive us. He came back to life, and he said to his disciples, right now, go and tell people. Get out there, go and tell people this amazing news. You can be forgiven, you can be set free, you can know what it is to be alive. For some reason, this is God's plan, to use us, each one of us, to tell others.
There was once a wealthy art collector by the name of Baron Fitzgerald. This man had one son. The day came for the son to leave home, and while he was away, he died. The wealthy father never got over the loss of his son. When the Baron died, his will called for all his paintings to be sold. It was a rare and valuable collection, and prospective buyers came from all over the world. On the day of the auction, the crowd gathered, and the lawyer read from the Baron's will. The first clause said this: "The first item to be sold in this auction is the painting of my beloved son." It was by an unknown painter. It was of poor quality. The auctioneer opened the bidding. "Can I see 100? There was silence from the crowd. "Can I see 60? Let's start the bid at 60. Still silence from the crowd. As the price dropped, there came a solitary voice from the back of the crowd. The bidder was somebody who'd worked for the family for many years. He never believed he could afford the picture. He had known and loved the boy and bought the painting for sentimental value, for the memories it held. The lawyer then went on to read the second clause of the will. "Whoever buys my son gets everything. The auction is over."